We're in the middle of the awards season. Everything has been building up to the prestigious Oscars. Celebrities have been preparing for weeks to get themselves ready for that red carpet moment, whilst we at home have been waiting in anticipation for the new looks and trends. Now I'm here with Dr Tracy Mountford, and we're going to be talking about some of the latest looks on the red carpet. Now she's a leading practitioner in the UK, so I'm very excited to find out what she's got to say. So, Tracy.
Hi.
What's going on with Felicity Jones? She's an up-and-coming actress. She's making some real inroads into Hollywood. What would you say that would be her secrets to beauty?
Well, she's gorgeous, isn't she? So she doesn't need very much. She's got that perfect sort of look, very English rose look, beautiful eyes. So really, if she came through my door, I wouldn't be advising her to do very much because that would be crazy. Certainly someone in her industry might be having, say, very light treatments like light lasering. Like, for example, in our practice, we use something called Clear and Brilliant that will literally improve the texture, tone and dewiness and luminosity of the skin. But short of that, I really don't think she's doing very much. She's just a natural.
But what would you say with some advice for younger people that are looking at type of cosmetic intervention? What would be the first step?
One message: less is more, really, for these people.
Mm-hmm.
Don't intervene too early because sometimes it can make them look even older than they are. What looks so good about Felicity is she just looks so natural. So keep it understated, keep it natural, keep it simple, and they look lovely.
Tracy, now my favourite is Jennifer Aniston. Has she had any work done? It really doesn't look like it.
That's the point. We don't know, do we? We just don't know about these celebrities. The thing about Jennifer is that she's got an individual look. She's got that quirky, slightly different look, but it's really very sexy. It's lovely. She's got a very slim physique, but she's managed to retain that firm, slightly fuller faced look, and that I believe is natural. If you look again at her transition as she's got older, she's managed to retain that look. Now those of us who are getting older than Jennifer, someone like me, would have to have some kind of volume replacement in order to look that good. I suspect she hasn't had that, but collagen stimulators will do that.
Do you find when celebrities are sort of losing weight and there's the pressure of looking good on the red carpet, they start to risk that sort of gaunt look?
Yeah.
But she's actually managed to sustain that. So she had any sort of, do you think, are there any interventions if she hasn't, to sort of fill that cheek area?
I think hers is natural, actually. I think, if you look at Jennifer over the years, she stayed fairly static. She just looks incredible. But I think for those of us who do lose facial volume, me being one of them, certainly things like collagen stimulators that can be injected under the skin, such as something like Sculptra, will keep the face looking balanced, not overfilled, but will just support and act like a deep scaffolding effect and prevent that sort of aged, gaunt-like appearance. But she's managed to retain that beautiful physique, keep that lovely firm look, and my God, does she put it off.
Now you look at someone like Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah.
Does she have a sort of a similar look, or does she have to work a little bit harder, do you think, in terms of...
I mean, Gwyneth Paltrow looks stunning. I think most of us would say, in her age category, I mean, she looks like a woman 10 years younger, doesn't she? And she has everything available to her to look that good. She has gone very public on the fact she's had some non-surgical treatment. I really, really embrace the fact she's done that. I mean, I think that's really made us girls say, good on you, Gwyneth. Thank you for doing that, because she's mentioned Thermage, radiofrequency skin tightening, and that will firm, tone, improve the skin, make it look very youthful, and she looks, again, as if she's done nothing. She just looks amazing.
So, I mean, surgery has been very popular. There's been a lot in the press with celebrities, going under the knife. Yeah. But we're starting to see a real trend, aren't we, towards sort of the non-surgical interventions.
Yeah, the worm is turning, I think, on surgery. You've only got to look around and see what the celebrities are doing. They're a sort of benchmark for what we might be doing. And they really are beginning to underplay stuff now. They're looking really just great. They look like they're on, the pause button. They don't seem to be getting any older, but they don't look weird. They don't look strange. And I think that's because they are turning more to non-surgical answers.
Now, do you find it difficult? I mean, I've been to a number of events where there's a lot of bright lights on the red carpet.
Yeah.
Do you find that, that becomes a bit of a sticking point, very tricky for celebrities? If they have had some types of treatments, they can become quite shiny.
Yeah.
How do they avoid that?
It's true, that is a really good point. I think in the past we would see the telltale signs, wouldn't we? We'd see the sort of little scars, the things that just didn't look so good. I think if you really scrutinise these celebrities, the ones that we would look at, the women in, say, my age category, and I'm looking for those telltale signs. I don't look at the dresses, I look at the faces when these award ceremonies come on. There's not a lot out there that really screams work. It's just that we know they can't look that good, and it'd just be down to good genes.
Yeah, for sure. Well, there's another really interesting woman, and I always love seeing her on the red carpet, is Helen Mirren.
Yeah.
Amazing how she's looking the way she looks on the red carpet.
Yeah.
She's still got that glow. What would her secrets be to maintaining that look?
She is, I looked at footage of her when she was very young, in her early days. I think she looks more visually appealing and sexy now than she did then. I mean, how does a woman do it? She looks phenomenal. But again, I think it's because she's kept, you can tell her lifestyle factors are pretty good. She's kept her weight under control. She's not too thin, so the face is still quite full and firm. 60 odd, there's no way that can just be from just a good lifestyle. People like this may have had things like skin tightening treatments, like thermage, which we mentioned before, which causes the collagen in the skin to tighten. They may well have had some form of very, very light peeling or light injecting with fillers, just to keep it understated, just to keep everything supported, making their skin look very dewy and radiant. There's nothing wrong with a few lines. If she had no lines, she'd look weird.
And I know you've mentioned thermage a couple of times. Is thermage sort of more for the more mature audience? What's the difference between that and something like Clear and Brilliant?
Yeah, I mean, Clear and Brilliant's more of a laser technology that will improve the texture and tone and luminosity of the skin. So it's probably a little bit more popular for the younger age category before they need anything else done. Though women of, or men of 50, 60 years of age can still have that done. When we need a little bit more help, when we need a little bit more lift, an improvement of lines and wrinkles, certainly something like thermage would be appropriate. So maybe in the 40s, 50 year age category, just to give that extra edge.
Great. And Julianne Moore.
So beautiful. I mean, she's 54, something like that. Natural redhead, and natural redheads don't age very well. I mean, historically, they tend to have fine, fair skin. But my goodness, that woman looks fantastic.
Why don't redheads age so well? Is that because the skin's a lot more sensitive?
Fine skin.
Yeah.
Fine, fair skin that tends to very slightly age slightly more prematurely than thicker skins. But that woman looks phenomenal. And again, I would say possibly, we don't know, but possibly like lasering or like peeling. She's kept it understated. I mean, I'm a firm believer in really subtle use of Botox. Very, very, very subtly, just to soften the edges. And potentially these women might have had this done, but the worm's turning on, again, these overdone looks.
Now, people with sort of lighter skin, with a number of these treatments, my fear has always been, is there a risk of sort of pigmentation problems or burning? And so just give me a little sort of us an understanding really of some of the things that people need to consider before actually having some of these treatments.
I mean, certainly with any laser treatment, it does make the skin more sensitive to the effects of sunlight. So we always say the mainstay of everything is a very good sunscreen. So normally most of my patients, and I'm sure these women, will be using a factor 50 at least to keep their skin in good order. And, don't go and fry yourself in the sun. Just be really, really aware that most of the damage on our skin by the time we reach our sort of 30s, 40s and 50s has been largely due to UV exposure, which is quite shocking, and UV exposure that was done years and years and years before. So one thing in the handbag would definitely be a very high factor sunscreen.
Now, Tracy, we cannot forget about the boys. And what I find really, really interesting is, you say men probably get better with age, but I think more men are being a lot more curious about some of these treatments. And if we look at George Clooney right now, women just fall over him, don't they?
Well, gorgeous George can't do much wrong, can he?
Gorgeous George,
he's
yes.
Absolutely divine. I remember seeing him, 20 years ago, and he's still looking even sexier now. I mean, the reality is men do tend to age better than women. It is a fact. As long as they look after themselves, they keep themselves in trim, and they look after themselves, they look fantastic. Whether he hasn't had stuff done, we don't know. But I certainly think if I was on the red carpet and I was him, I'd be looking at good skincare and maybe again very light peeling or light lasering, or even certainly with our male patients, they really do like radiofrequency skin tightening like Zamage to keep things firm, because there are no telltale signs. There's no pinpricks, no marks, and they can literally go to work immediately afterwards. So these guys, we don't know, but they could be having these kinds of treatment.
Well, that leads me into another really famous actor, Colin Firth. I mean, he just, again, looks timeless.
He does.
And do you think he's had anything done?
It's difficult to tell. Again, good work, you can almost not tell it's been done. So we're hypothesising here. We don't know really anything about these celebrities, what they're really doing, and why should they tell us? But possibly, yes, he may well have done. I think with actors and male actors, I don't think they'll be doing things like, Botox treatments, but I think certainly light stimulatory treatments to keep their skin in good order. I suspect all of these people would do, yeah.
So do you think, in summary, it's all about looking good for your age rather than all the hype that we get in the magazines and in the press about looking 10 years younger?
Yeah.
What would be your sort of top tips, really?
Keep it simple. Again, the younger age category, don't intervene too early. If you intervene too early, we're all in favour of prevention, but if you intervene too early, you can actually look older. You can look more contrived. You can look overdone. So that would be my first tip for the younger age category. Once we get into the 30s and 40s, start maintaining yourself a little bit more, maybe with, again, light lasering, fine light use of botulinum toxin to just keep the deep lines from forming. Again, but in a natural, soft way to airbrush the face. And then as we go on and on, we do have to invest more. My top tip for older women and men would be just put a little bit more investment in your look. Obviously, all the time keep sunscreen, but maybe do some skin tightening. That will keep literally you in suspended animation, or stop the skin deteriorating too quickly.
Great. Well, thank you so much. An expert insight into the beauty secrets of the A-list celebrities. We're all looking forward to their finest moments on the red carpet at the up-and-coming Oscars.